morning and welcome to MCFC 9320 Pubcast on a gloomy, ridiculously gloomy Sunday. How are you, Father?
Not too bad. I'm settled now.
How was you yesterday?
I'm glad I have time to reflect.
Was you a little bit fuming? Good evening to everybody in the chat as well. Thank you for joining us. Loads to talk about tonight because I will start off by saying, yes, it was a red card yesterday on Doku. However, that cannot excuse what an absolute inept display from everybody, I'd say, apart from Big Donna Summer. Paddy, how can we put our performance in, mate?
I don't know. It just went horribly wrong. Like, you can turn around and say, yeah, but the red card, but that I'd say that they would have beat us with 10 men yesterday. It just wasn't happening. I don't know. It's like, I don't understand why the young lad, Ale, was taken off at half-time. But for me, if they were going to take anyone off, they should have took Aki off and left Ale at centre-back and put
to be honest, mate, I thought, listen, the young lad has been brilliant for us, since he come in. I thought he was being a little bit overrun, as was Amal, to be fair. Now, whether Pep's done that to try and protect him a little bit because of the way he was just being slaughtered, I don't know. I'll tell you what, listen, I know everybody's into, you get shows, content creators, just people on social media who, quite rightly are allowed to, criticize players. That's the nature of the beast. Everyone's got their opinion. But I've seen some stuff today, and I had to log off X last night because some of it's just so over the top. Yeah, we're sitting here, and as the guys in the chat, I'm thinking, how can we put performance in like that? But some of it has gone way over the top, in my opinion, mate.
But it always does. Like any loss, and there's a certain percentage of our fan base that loses their marbles, and then if you had a derby and on top of that, some of them really lose it then. And I've seen, not people I follow, but people that I do follow who retweet nonsense. But as I just said to you before, you have 3 strikes, you do that 3 strikes and you're out with me. I don't want to be looking at that. But I've seen calls for Pep's head, and I've seen Sky Sports this morning, because I follow Sky Sports, 4 numpties sitting around saying this is the end of Pep in English football.
Well, hang on a minute then, right? Going back on what you've just said, 3 strikes and they're out. Why do you follow Sky Sports then if you know they're just churning that shit up against us week in, week out? Why are you not blocking them?
Because they don't talk nonsense the way some of our fans do.
Really? You've just given one example of people talking. They don't have to talk nonsense, but they're effectively retweeting what people are saying.
Yeah, but
look, okay, let's look at that nonsense, what we've seen, and we briefly discussed it before we came on air, mate. What is it, that fan fucking thing where, and there's 2 people in there. One I am pretty little bit disappointed with, but I'm not surprised with the other one. Now, what I can't comprehend, you'll be locked in a box, not knowing what the result is, and at the end of the show, you get somebody announcing at the end of the match, you get somebody announcing what the score was. I can't comprehend that, mate.
I've never seen that before.
I don't want to see it again.
But isn't that the way? Is that the way it's going now, Andy? With all these content creators and the way, like, all these kind of like people would be on, say, different platforms who are not sports related. I just think football's becoming very. It's going away from football. It's becoming a died out version of what it should be. You know,
I can't
lock the
comprehend
box
that. I cannot
in the
comprehend it,
biggest,
mate. I can't. I really can't.
one of the biggest games of the season. Well, there's only two really. It is the derby for me, home or away, and you're going to actually lock yourself in a box and wait till the end to find out the result. That would only happen to me if I was in intensive care.
Is it David Blaine FC? It's just, again, mate. I just don't know where. I don't know where some of this is coming from. But listen, if they want to do that, they want to do that. I just can't. I would, if I'm not gonna go to the match or be able to watch it on the TV or whatever, I'd certainly have. I'd be following it, whether it's on social media or score alerts and stuff like that. Anyway, listen, that's enough of that nonsense. I just thought I'd bring that in because it's just can't comprehend it. The game itself, mate. Oh, and by the way, should we read the predictions from last week? What we give for the match? Can you remember yours?
Actually, I wrote them down.
I got mine right.
No, you didn't.
But just the wrong team.
Yeah, the wrong United.
Oh, mate. We never really. You put 3-0. I put 2-0. By the way, if anybody wants to join us in the chat, there is a link at the top. You click the link and we will get you on the show. You'll go into our little waiting room, our green room.
I went 3-0 for us and you went 2-0. And then the Newcastle match, I went 2 each and you went 2-1 loss.
Just shows you I know jack shit about football. That's
why we're sad on here and not making money in the bookies.
And again, we'll chat about the Newcastle match and Mark Gahey coming in to join us as well. We'll chat about that in a bit, mate. I just feel that we need to really not go into too much depth about yesterday's match because we all accept that we were shit. Now, I was watching it in my local pub, not in a box. And soon as we kicked off, I just knew it wasn't going to. They was going to be all over us because they was going to have the Carrick effect. They knew they was going to have the fans up, really, really up for it. Not just it's a Manchester derby, but because of the Carrick effect.
Mm-hmm.
Surely Pep and the players would have known. I thought we started off really, really sloppy. We couldn't get the ball off them. They was, to be honest, and I've put the name of it, slaughtered in the Manchester derby. I think we were slaughtered, and we actually got out of jail yesterday with a 2-0 defeat.
Oh, absolutely, should be 5 or 6.
And only for Big Donna Summer, it would have been like. But again, I don't want people digging individual players out. That yesterday should be seen as substantiated by the whole team, not just any individual. Because They should have had a clear red card, mate. And again, that's what I was going to allude to. Then watching it in the pub, seeing it straight away, the lot on Doku, and I was sat I was sat next to some of my red mates, and they're like, "No way, no way!" I went, lads. I said, "Come on!" I said, "It was a straight red card." No, and then for it to go to VAR, for Dalot to only get a yellow card, and for it to go to VAR, and VAR. All the little angles. What did you do? Did they draw one of these little imaginary lines round Doku's knee? So it didn't look as if he was touching him.
It was glancing contact.
Forget that. Right. It doesn't. A foul, right? And unless I'm missing something, a foul or a challenge like that, it doesn't matter whether it's intent or it's happened. It doesn't matter. You can get, say, a penalty, for instance, where they sort of like get the ball first, but they maim the player to make sure the player can't go on. Only a penalty is given. Nothing else is given over that. And sometimes it's a penalty's not even given. But for that on Doku's knee, don't listen. I still think 10 men had to beat us yesterday, like you just said, mate. But it does change the game. Would it have made us play any better? Maybe, we will never know that, but most certainly, like we've seen the example at Newcastle in midweek. You know, Haaland being offside. You know, for what would have been Semenyo's second goal. It's. Am I wrong to say there may be some sort of agenda against us, or is that, or
I think,
the official was substandard?
I think Pep came out on Newcastle after the victory, and he outlined all the kind of wrongdoings that has happened down over the years or whatever.
Yeah,
but like the terminology that came back from Stockley Park was glancing contact, right? Now, if I was to punch you in the head and your head goes back, that's not a glancing contact. Number one, it was knee high, his knee bent backwards, so there was sufficient contact to drive Doku's knee back. That's not glancing, that's full on. Studs up, knee high, contact. Well, if it's glancing or not, the intent was there. You get sent off for intent, not even if you miss the player. You go in at that level, studs up, and miss. You still get sent off for the intent because the intention was to make contact. He did make contact. He bent Doku's leg back, the knee back. It wasn't glancing. It was a full-on contact. But he didn't get sent off.
Why wasn't it looked at by VAR then? I know what you just said. It was like glancing contact. It doesn't matter. It's like I don't want to dwell on it too much about that should have been a red card, because that's still taken away how substandard we are. And some at Stevie. Stevie Black's put there. It's a new team developing was expected. I sort of get that, mate, and that's a sensible way of looking at it, because it is a new team. Because we did brilliantly well against Newcastle. Obviously we played, last Sunday, 10-1 it was against Exeter. However, yesterday, I think, dare I say it, and listen, I'm just a daft fat bald bloke talking about it on a channel like this. I did actually say yesterday, I think Pep got that wrong, because I don't think, and I could be wrong, let us know in the chat, I don't think Semenyo and Doku works with Semenyo on the right and Doku on the left.
Well,
and it don't look effective. Semenyo doesn't look effective on the right.
No, he doesn't. But the other side, right? And that was my opinion yesterday, but when I was up doing the hike this morning, I was reflecting on it. We don't actually know what's going on with that team, right? So you have to ask yourself, well, this is what I did this morning. Why Pep played Aki at left back when you have a left back specialist, Antonori, on the bench, or Nico Riley? So there must have been something up with them two, because Pep's not stupid. Let's be realistic about the whole situation.
No,
there must have been something up, or they must have been match fit, or there's a reason why Aki started on left back, because Pep sees him in training. He sees players come past him. Everyone knows, the dog in the street knows, poor old Aki, the other legs are not the same. Father time is caught up with him, right? So there must have been a hell of a reason to leave two.
One sec, Paddy. I'm just going to bring not only a football legend on, but just a legend of a human being. Evening, mate. How are you?
How are we, lads? When are you bringing him on then, the legend?
You, mate. You're the legend, mate. You know that.
How are we, lads? You all right?
Yeah, we're just getting into the nitty gritty. A quick overview, mate, is it should have been a red card, 100%, but that'd just be sort of like covering over how inept we was yesterday. And again, the starting lineup, I know Pep knows more than us, but straight away we was just going over them with Paddy. Yeah. Why didn't start Nori at left back, a specialised left back, and what I was just about to say, and I'm not digging any players out whatsoever. Within a couple of minutes of Nico O'Reilly coming on, he got a yellow card. We couldn't go near. He couldn't go near anybody then, and he looked a little bit overrun. And again, we had Nori there, and it just didn't make sense, mate. What's your overview on the? And by the way, we've done the stupidity in fans in a box.
Yeah, What's your thoughts on that one then, Paddy?
I don't know. Look, football's changing. I have many years left to be watching it. I've never, and the City fans are in there. One of them, I'm not surprised, but there's one of them I was very, very surprised it was in there. Really, really surprised.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't. Listen, they're getting paid, whatever. Do you know what I mean? If that's what it's all about and that's what they're in there for, then it's their choice, isn't it? I suppose. But that's not something I'd be wanting to do. I don't, especially, and I've not even said this to Andy, especially in a derby.
It's pure distraction from the game,
especially in a derby.
Pure distraction from the game. Like all this nonsense about XG, this, that, whatever. Like, it was actually refreshing the AC Morgan Rogers interview before they asked him for the match.
Yes.
By your man, Jimmy Rembap, was it?
Yeah.
And he says to him, what's his feelings in the XG? He says it was the biggest little nonsense he's ever come across. He doesn't believe it. I thought that was so refreshing.
Yeah.
Like that's not football, like, you know. But XG fans in the box, what fucking next?
It's like
in at half time, was it?
It's like the only double pivot I know is when I go to the bar and get 2 beers. That's the only double pivot I know. You know, what's all this low block and I'm not alive.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your overview on the match yesterday, mate? You've had time to reflect.
The word I'd use is spineless. I think he's probably and when we were texting Andy and we were saying about Donnarumma, I think looking back at it, I watched a couple of like bits of it, and to be honest, apart from maybe Kusanov at the outfield player, I'm not sure. I think Kusanov, yeah, I can give him a little bit of leeway. I think he was probably his only outfield player who like he cared. But Donnarumma, man, I think it could have been a cricket score for not Donnarumma. And this is the problem, you see. I think when the team come out, I was saying to a couple of lads, because as Andy knows, I were there. And I was saying to a couple of the lads, like, Aki at left back, Elaine and Kusanov at centre half. And then the one what really did it for me, and I know Andy spoke about this a couple of times, and Andy's obviously said about his opinion on Rico Lewis in midfield, but I don't think Rico Lewis is Manchester City quality.
No, I don't, mate. But I'd like people to judge him. I can't believe you're drinking Coke, mate. I thought he was on a keep fit thing.
No, mate. No. Not after this weekend.
No. So I want people to judge or critique Rico Lewis for the position he plays rather than a filling-in position at right back. I think it was a shock to everybody that there was no Nunes yesterday. There's some Paddy dropped me something before. There's a nasty rumor, whether it's a nasty rumor or it's somebody know that there's something potentially bad with Nunes. Now,
let's hope not.
Have you heard the rumor without saying?
Yeah,
it?
I've seen it on social media and flying around and that. But
if that is true, and I don't want to make it sound an excuse the way we played yesterday, if that was confirmed, could that be a reason why the players wasn't fully focused? Let's hope the players were just shit yesterday and it's not true about Nunes. But this fact is that for me, that would, God forbid if that was true, that is the only reason I would excuse them players from yesterday, apart from Donnarumma.
Well, Kusanov had a good game. Now, in fairness, he did. And even though your man in that Sky Sports kept calling him Husano, he was driving me fucking gaga. I actually turned him off and might have found a different...
It's not gaga, it's gaga.
I might have found a different channel to watch it on because he kept calling him Cassano.
Yeah. Listen, that shouldn't even alter anything, should it? You know, whatever he's being called and stuff like that. It's just so unacceptable that and again, people are digging certain players out. Again, yesterday for me, Doku, if you're going to play him, maybe try him somewhere else, because I think since Semenyo come in, we sort of listen. Yeah, he scored a couple of goals, Semenyo, and he's chipped in with an assist, but that's all been from the left-hand side. He doesn't look. Are you there, Elliot? Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
You know. Oh, yeah, can you now?
Yeah, went off. Yeah, went off. Sorry.
Semenyo, mate, is, for me, he only looks effective on the left, and that's not his fault, because his 2 goals and his assists for us so far have all come from the left. Now, he doesn't look comfortable on the right. I'm not digging him out because, again, I know he's left-footed, right-footed, but I'm sure I've seen some stats, not low blocker out like that, Paddy. Some decent stats where he's most effective coming from the left, and I can see them stats.
The thing we've got that though, lads, is Mamusha's best coming off the left. Doku's best coming off the left inside, although he was a right winger before we signed him. So the thing with Doku is, I think if he was to be better on the right, I think we would have seen it by now, considering now we're 3 years in. So obviously Pep sees him every day. The players train with him. That's the only. Cherka, I think, coming off the right, I think we can do certain games where that can be a thing. Foden, yeah, I'm not sure about Foden at the minute. I'm in the same boat, and obviously me and Andy's had a little bit of a thing with this about I'm in the same boat with Foden and Haaland at the minute, where I think the performances aren't good enough. If I'm to be brutally honest with you, I think tiredness. Yeah, I get it, but if you cannot get up for a derby, then I don't know what you can get up for, and that's me being being totally honest. And the scary thing is, Andy, we've not actually said this. Well, we've spoke about it, but I've never said this to you. Donnarumma yesterday was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah,
that was his second ever derby for us. His players on that pitch who, and by the way, I thought, I'm going to say it as well, Rodri looked knackered.
He did, mate.
Absolutely knackered.
I said that to the lad next to me in the pub, not at the game. I said Rodri just looked really lethargic, didn't he? And I thought the purpose of him saving him a little bit through the Newcastle match was to keep him sort of like in tip-top condition for the derby. Now, I agree with you. It looks like Foden's injured as well now again, doesn't it?
Is something to him? Is that the hand, is it? I've seen it going on.
Yeah, there was.
Is it his hand?
Was it Donnarumma? Either way, if it's another injury, then Jesus Christ, we can't blame everything down to injuries and stuff like that. But it does become a factor, depending on what position it is. Now, I thought Max Alian, whatever his surname, however you pronounce it.
Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine. I wouldn't be too critical of him yesterday because it did seem as if he was being overrun a little bit. In my opinion, they should have played Ake and more as left centre back for a bit of experience.
O'Reilly not know it left back.
Yeah, and that's where I thought it should have been. And again, it's a fact. As soon as Nico O'Reilly come on, within 2 minutes getting booked, it was just like that sort of like set the standard for the second half. Then because at 0-0 half time, and United had bucket loads of chances, 2 offside goals. I thought we're still in it 0-0 here, and yourself. We've all seen it over the years where a team gets absolutely battered, Paddy, and the team what's getting battered end up winning the match.
Well, to me, yesterday was like City of old. We had all the possession. We had one shot on target over the 90 minutes, and I'll always go back to what Jose Mourinho said when I think we had 68 or 70% possession, and they won Chelsea. And he turned around and says, "I don't care if they take the fucking ball home with them." He says, "as long as we outscore them." And that's what happened yesterday. One shot on goal in 90 minutes is fucking Sunday morning D&D league stuff. And the other thing I see online is, we're not playing the Holland strengths, we're not crossing the ball in, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. We have, in the 10 years that Pep has been there, when have you ever seen the ball come into the box crosses? It doesn't happen. So why do people think it's going to start happening now? And this is now Holland's first season there.
Paddy, can I just add on that point as well? Because me and Andy had a conversation about Haaland, right? And one of the lads actually made a great point, stood next to me yesterday at the game. They went, Haaland, even if he's not on nowhere near, I don't think he's nowhere near 5 yellow cards this season. But it doesn't matter if he's nowhere near because it's restarted due to the January restarting. Haaland yesterday was getting absolute bullied, right? Why did he not consider who it's against? Just hit some, not just, even if it's nowhere near the ball, just do something. Get yourself yellow card, show a little bit of something. And I think that's the problem. As soon as a defender, and I've seen it a little bit, I don't know what you guys think of this, Van Ecke at Brighton.
Yes.
Seems to ruffle him up a little bit.
He does.
And
the past few times, not just the recent game where when we played him. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to, and I don't know if it's a case of he's getting into these little like scruffles, and then if he doesn't come out in the first 2-3 times, he thinks, oh, it's not going to happen. But actually, what his mindset should be is, I'm going to go again. And then until he, because let's be honest, Haaland shouldn't be getting dragged off in a derby. Something's obviously seriously gone.
That should have hurt him yesterday, being took off in a derby.
Let me ask you this, are you?
Yeah.
And I've been saying this about this team now, probably for about 12 months. Which one of that starting 12, and I'm going to mainly focus on the midfield, is going to stick the fucking boot in and take a yellow card? We are very, very brittle all over the park for me.
Well, Paddy, my player would have been, funny enough, now he's got loaned out again today, but my player for that would have been a lad called Echeverri. Now, I've spoken to Andy privately a lot about Echeverri. Yeah. And what Echeverri offers you is he doesn't just offer you quality on the ball. He's got that Alvarez about him. He's got that sort of, I don't know, that little bit of a, I don't know if I can swear on here, but a little bit of FU kind of thing. And do you know what I mean? He's not going to let anyone have a second ball.
You know the sad thing about him, he'll never kick a ball from Man City again.
That's where I'm standing with it at minute, Paddy. Which is
why? Because Pep wanted him to go to Girona and he wouldn't go. He went elsewhere, and he's now, when he went there, he didn't get played, and now they got him to Girona. But Pep wanted him to go there first day, and he wouldn't go. So he's not coming back.
The thing, what I said in the summer at Paddy, and I don't know whether you might agree, you might disagree on this, and I've said this to Andy a couple of times as well, is I would have kept Echeverri, and when the offer coming from Forest for 30 million for Rico Lewis, I would have said thank you for everything you've done, but we're obviously going to accept this bid for you, and then move. And I get and I get this as well. I get a player's got to stay on the move. I get he's got to agree to it and everything else what comes with it. But I just feel like we might have missed a little bit of a trick with Echeverri. The 2 times we've seen him, which was the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace, when he come on, I could argue was one of the best players on the pitch. He was getting about, he was looking busy, he was good on the ball, and then obviously the Club World Cup when he scored the free kick, but then got injured. I don't think that'd be 2 bad cameos, if I'm honest, to go off.
I agree with that, right? But going back then to say, like, we have Reinders and we have Cherky and we have Foden and we have all these kind of flairish players, but they're all very brittle.
Correct.
There's nobody going to go into that midfield and go, boom, you're having it today.
No, there's not. And what's going to be interesting now, because by all accounts, he's past his medical mark Gay now, is will we, and especially now Thingy finished last night, didn't it? Marmoush, he's on his way back now as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a chance now, because we've been brittle at the back a bit, for the past few games, since the Guardiola got injured and Diaz got injured. So I think what we need to do now, again, we don't know what's going to happen on right back because of whatever. I don't even want to fuel that rumor anyway, because I don't think it's unfair to fuel that rumor. So at the back, we've got Aït-Nouri. He should be flying at left back. This is where Nico O'Reilly now should be thinking, something? I think Nico O'Reilly's probably the only one who's got a bit about him where he can put his foot in midfield. Now, Bernardo, and again, what people need to realise with Bernardo has been a team player now this is his 2nd season where he's been a team player, where he's filled in every single, and yesterday, even my mates, my red mates, they went, do you know something? Bernardo Silva, you'd love him in your team, but you hate him if he's not in your team. And that's sort of, I know it's a backhanded compliment, but
Bruno Fernandes, Andy. Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
It's about that. And I know I don't want to speak about this lad either, but Trey Barton used to be exactly the same thing. When in your team and you're doing all the ugly stuff and it were horrible, you used to think, oh, that's great, that.
But it's like what you said. It's like what you said as well, Elliot, and I totally agree. So like with Big Erling yesterday, sometimes it doesn't matter whether you're home or away, if the game's not going for you, just go into somebody, and that just gets the crowd up as well. You know, whether it's hostility of a home crowd, or the away fans thinking, you know, something, he cares, or whoever, not just Ireland, but whoever does that, they care. They know even before they went 1-0 up, we was getting battered all over the pitch. So you need a little bit of that. And for me, the way we rolled over yesterday, that is unacceptable.
I don't mind losing 5-0, Andy. If I see care and I see fight, that's the difference. We've lost how many games when we back where we used to be, 2005, 2004, go back as early as that. I know it's late, but it's also early. We never were this dominant what we are until Mancini, really, weren't it? And then from then onwards. But yeah, just show a bit of something. And the guys will have seen it in the chat. I don't know whether you two have. There's a clip going around on, I think it's someone like a United fan recording it. And it's a ball, it comes in, and I think Martinez just literally just taps his foot in, and just can't get it, and then he just gives up and just throws his arms around. And it's like, come on, mate. You're on $500,000 a week. Just do something.
I don't want it to sound like we're having a go at Ireland, because
absolutely not.
You know, in our private chats, I have defended him. You know, not up until yesterday. It means I'm not going to start not defending him. But what we normally see with Haaland since he's joined us is how many times have we seen him bullying centre backs or anybody coming into him? He's bullied him. He's bullied whatever player it is.
Just want to see fight.
We're not seeing that same aggression with him. Now, if it's a case of we need somebody else to do it, or for him to, get up for it, but why? And again, you nailed it when you said it was a Manchester derby. He knows what the Manchester derby is about.
Yeah, even if it wasn't, Andy, right? What hurt most yesterday? Look, anybody can lose a football match, right? But there's a way to lose a football match. Like, you can play your heart out and still come away and be proud of your performance. You give it your all. You left everything on that pitch. Them players yesterday, there was no passion. There was no commitment. There was no pride. There was no, I'm going to go down fighting. It was shocking, Nick.
It was disappointing. It was disappointing to see, because especially it's like there was in the pub where I wanted to go and smash one or two in the pub yesterday. They was doing ole ole in the pub, and I thought, something, we're being passed about here, like, and United was like, I don't know, 1970s Brazil yesterday. But what I did remind the Rags of yesterday, I went, shook their hand, I went, no problem, better team. Let's see if you can go and do it after the Arsenal match. Let's see if the Carrick effect will be when you've got to play Fulham and they've got somebody else not so great coming up as well. After I know
that's not going to happen, but see that, like you said that earlier on the show, right? And I don't agree with it about the Carrick effect and the new manager bunch and all that nonsense. We've been the PSG, we've been the Barcelona, we've been the Real Madrid. We know what a hostile atmosphere feels like. We've been the Anfield, but the fucking team coach has been destroyed. So we know what a hostile atmosphere is like. We know how they play against a team who's up for it. It was, as Elliot said, it was spineless.
Mm-hmm. And it's what Nick
great
saying there, bang on. And we've spoken about this before, Elliot. For every Rodri or for every David Silva, you need a Nigel de Jong or a Fernandinho. You can't win. I know we've won enough, but most of our success, we've had a bit of a villain in midfield who'll, like yesterday, and again, Bernardo's trying his best to sort of like replicate that baddie, but Bernardo is not a baddie. He's just a little pain in the ass. He's not somebody who can go and put that tackle in. Bernardo's definition of it, and by the way, I'm not going to go Bernardo because I think he's probably one of the players this season who's tried to putting foot in his flat. But Bernardo will get a booking for dragging somebody back. I'd rather a player go and get a booking for going through somebody when the game's not going. The game's not going for us. To get a bit of that. The crowd's not going to get up if somebody just gets dragged back and the player gets a yellow card. The crowd will get up if somebody goes through somebody, and especially in a Manchester derby.
Yeah, the one last year with that, Andy, when I think it was Arsenal away when we got fucking levered, and I think actually went through somebody in the corner, if I remember rightly. But yeah, you're right. It's just about if you're miles away from it and you're not. And for me, we could have been playing that game yesterday till next Saturday coming up, and we wouldn't have scored. We didn't look like scoring. You were right when you said to me on message, mate. We were lucky to be that scoreline. Very lucky.
Did you know what surprises me? Like, we had 11 players on that pitch, right? For me, Donnarumma and Krusnov gets a pass. But for 9 players, they give up and down tools and not have professional pride. Like that collective almost going on strike, where as a player, if you've ever played in team sports and you see all what's happening around you and you think to yourself, I don't like this, I'm going to fucking lay a mark on somebody. Mm-hmm. I'm not going down that road, but they're going down. I'm going to, when I come off that pitch, I'm going to be able to put my head in the pillow at night and say, I did my best today. There's 9 of them went home after that Manchester derby, and I don't know how they fucking slept.
The thing is, Paddy, what do? Do you start putting players in now? I've made this comment a few times. Don't get it twisted. I think we can't be too like, oh, yesterday's game, that's going to define the season now. But if these performances happen more, just stick to his word and start playing more academy players who he come out and said he's got the academy there and he's learnt from his mistakes. Does it go down that road maybe? Because them boys probably will do the stuff what the so-called first team players probably won't do due to their position. We saw
that, Elliot, didn't we, against Exeter? And I put a tweet out there, and I said it on the show last week. Beating a team 10-1. You think sometimes you feel a little bit sorry, even though it's like say only Exeter. No disrespect to Exeter, but what we had them young lads coming in who wanted to prove themselves, and they was hungry for it. Whereas, and you mentioned Thingy before as well about Rico Lewis, about maybe we missed the trick by getting 30 million for him. I think we also missed the trick with not getting 70 million for Savio as well. Because we're okay in that side of the department. And what brought me onto that is with Semenyo on the right. And again, I'm not having a go at Semenyo if anyone thinks I am. What I'm saying is, do you reckon Pep's turned around to Semenyo and gone, oh, do you mind playing on the right for us? And because Semenyo's a 2-footed player and he's new, he'll go, yeah, no problem. And deep down he's thinking, no, what play on the fucking left?
I put a comment up in the group and you mocked me for it. I said, Semenyo, our new centre back, and you went, is he not a winger? Because I knew Pep wasn't going to play him on the left. Wouldn't surprise me he played him on the fucking nets. I'm not going to get too carried away about one stupid result. There's 15 or 16 games to go in the league. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination. We've been far worse situations than this. Your man Gay's having the medical now. He's playing landed in Manchester, so he'll be available for next weekend.
Good evening, Martin. I hope you enjoyed cheering United's goals yesterday in a United box.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not having a go. Listen, he had an opportunity to go to the derby, and I was joking with him. I spoke to him. I went, if United score, you're going to have to cheer, not just score. Even if you don't cheer, people will know that you're a City fan. But anyway.
Probably had a half and half scarf on, did he?
Thank you, Martin, for your 30 months of absolute lunacy supporting the channel. Appreciate it, mate.
But look, it hurts. Don't get me wrong, it hurts. And as I say, I'm a hell of a lot more camera today than I was yesterday. I wanted to fucking kill people yesterday, but anyway, thank God I'm on my own. But next week against Wolves, hopefully Nunes will be back. Gay will be in the midfield or in defence. Mm-hmm. The Krusnov will be alongside him, hopefully. And hopefully Anthony will be playing left back or Nico O'Reilly left back. So
I think that would be, with players available, I think that is probably everybody's idea of our back four.
But see, actually,
I said with players, what's available, Luggies.
Yeah. Oh, I know that, but what I'm saying is that Marquis signing, right? He has something about him because he could have stayed until the summer and went to Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, whatever. But he has decided, number one, I'm going to take a bit of a pay cut, or I'm going to lose a financial loss to come to Man City now. But
he wouldn't have took a financial loss, mate.
Oh, he absolutely did, Andy. Oh, he absolutely did. Make no mistake. He's going to get a 60 million pound signing on fee in the summer, and he'd give that up and come to Man City.
Who's to say he's not getting that with us, mate?
Oh, he's
don't be naive. Mark Gay.
Is it 20? Is it still 20 million? 20 million.
Point, right? My main point about your man Marquis is he has backed himself to come in, and you always say this, especially about Laporte. He's come in to back himself to dislodge Diaz or Guardiola, and that says a lot.
And I think this lad could. So, and I was before you said about the back four, I was going to ask you both and the guys in the chat, what is your? How can you see our team now? You know, with players available at the minute, I think you've already nailed the back four there, Paddy. But I think what we need to do now, and yes,
midfield.
You know, Max Alleyne, you know, he's done brilliantly well. You couldn't even rest, drop Cushy because he's just been absolutely magnificent. And even when we signed him and he made his debut, you know, we was drooling over him, and we've spoke about it as well, Elliot. And this lad has got something. Just because he looks like a baby and he doesn't smile, Jesus Christ, he's got not only. He's got the power, but he's got the pace as well to deal with absolutely anything what's thrown at him. Because he's got that. He's almost got that. He backs it, even at a young age. He seems to back himself. He knows it'd be a prime Kyle Walker.
It could be one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah.
If not the best. If his mindset's with it and he could be anything he wants him, and I think we've got a very, 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 very good player.
Well, that part of it I wouldn't question, Elliot, because Pep told the very funny story about him when they went to Spurs away, and Pep says to him, like, "Where's your wash bag?" And he turned around and says to Pep in broken English, "I'm here to play fucking football." He's no wash bag with him.
Yeah, you know, no, he's got.
I think we've got something special there with Cushy. For me, with current available players, I think Paddy's back four is something, unless anybody else would prefer somebody else in it. I would go with that back four. Now, people might say, yeah, but Nico O'Reilly's been playing really, really good at left back. Even for the past few weeks, I don't think Nico O'Reilly, and it's no disrespect to Nico, he's not a left back. We saw him against Newcastle. I thought he played very, very well. Newcastle in midfield. But he's not been at his best like when he started starting for us and stuff like that. And like you said, Paddy, we've got an established left back there. So
yesterday was 50 games, Andy. Yesterday was 50 games for Nico already. Like, you look at that lad, right? How his life has changed in the last 12 months. Like, well, he has gone from playing EDS to going into that first team and putting in 50 performances for us. Being called in the English team at left back, that didn't happen with Phil Foden. Phil Foden was drip fed into that team. Nico O'Reilly is just, you're in.
Do you want me to tell you something about Nico O'Reilly? I'm not going to say anything other than I know his uncle very, very well. Do you know how much it's affected Nico O'Reilly breaking into the first team squad? Not at all. Still same level kid, doing the same things.
Oh, I've no doubt about that, but what I'm
eating at the same places round Collyhurst and stuff like that. It's not affected him, and that's credit to him. I think. Yesterday, I did mention it before about after 2 minutes. Come on, got a yellow card, and it was for pretty much stupid. I think if I can remember, because I had a few beers, he dragged somebody back rather than a.
I'm mad.
Now,
I'm mad,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Now, I would prefer anyone, especially a Mancunian, to come on it in second half and go, you know something, they've battered us in the first half. I'm going to come on. If I'm going to get a yellow card, it's going to be for going through someone.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Andy, is he might need a little bit of a rest. He's played 50 games.
He does.
I agree with that, Paddy.
Yeah. So that's what prompted me to asking the question, how, with available players, what we've got, how do we see our team? Because I think the back four with common come in, that I'd like to say that picks itself, but midfield for me, it's a conundrum in midfield because I don't actually know, and it's Pep's fault because he's got an abundance of decent midfielders. It's getting that right combination, because I think whoever he starts in midfield now and it works, he's got to stick with it. Because I felt sorry a little bit. I know he's injured at the minute, Nico Gonzalez. I'm sorry. I think I'd rather have him in ahead of Rodri at the minute. I'd rather dip Rodri in and out and have Nico got.
Well,
listen, I could be talking, but
and you mightn't like this. I wouldn't be starting
Probably
Bernardo Silva.
You'd what?
I wouldn't start Bernardo Silva. Not when you have
Maybe
and Cherky on the bench. I wouldn't be starting. I know he runs his heart out and he runs himself into the ground and he does all the dirty work and he does the ball carrying and he plays defence. For me, I just wouldn't have him in the team. And I love him.
Okay, then. Okay, with all what you've just said, who else is going to do it? I'm just going to get my mic and drop it. That's the point.
How's going to do that job, is it?
That's why Bernardo Silva is playing.
Nico Gonzalez is fit. He does it. Doku chases back. Semenyo has always chased back.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, there's nobody. There's only Bernardo who stands counted in that team at the minute.
Yeah, but Andy, you're missing the point. But when Bernardo Silva's back at the 18-yard box collecting the ball, like the quarterback or the water carrier in American football, he's not doing damage up the pitch.
Okay, then. Neither is Nico Gonzalez. Neither is Rodri.
But Nico Gonzalez is a centre defensive midfielder.
So
Bernardo
who would you?
Silva
Okay, then. Okay, then. Paddy Guardiola. Who do you play in that position? Who do you play? Who do you play as that defensive midfielder?
I'd play both of them.
If I had a choice.
Yeah.
And you're going to think, no, you know I don't drink or do drugs. I actually play Rodri, Prime Rodri, and Gonzalez in the same team, and then you can put some Semenyo and Doku and
double pivot, Paddy. Go on, say double pivot. Go on.
Not saying that shit. Number 6,
number
8, number 10s. Fuck off.
Tell you what's funny yesterday, Elliot. Right, so Paddy don't drink. How long have you been dry now, mate? Not that you was a pisshead, but out of choice. I'll just add that.
Probably come up in 2 years now.
So he knew I was doing dry January, and he knew I was going to go out for the match. And you might laugh, mate. He was actually encouraging me to drink watching the match yesterday. He's like that. Fucking have some more. And I'm like, I am.
Oh, I lost the plot yesterday.
Well, it's his fault. I've had a stinking hangover all day.
Worth it after that, I think. Worth it.
Oh, just trying to numb it all out. But again, for me, the conundrum is that midfield. I think that if you pick the right midfield or the right combination of midfield, and I tend to agree, Rodri with Nico G on what is it, Paddy? A double what? Vodka and orange. A double pivot. Then Rodri can just sit there, let Nico drop back and do that defensive, that defensive midfielder role. But then
I'd actually do the opposite, because I think Rodri is like if you watch Rodri passes, they're always more forward. Gonzalez is more lefty, right? Rodri will always pick out a run.
Okay, I won't split hairs with you, but I will say, and I might be mistaken, in the current, and I've touched on it before, I don't think we can have Doku on the left, Semenyo on the right for it to work. I really, really don't. I know
somebody has to get sacrificed.
good players should be able to play together. Some players cannot do that. We saw it for England, Lampard and Gerrard, you know, the debates on stuff like that. I think it's different because, again, and I said it at the top of the show, with Semenyo on the left, I've not seen anything like that since a Sané stroke Sterling running diagonal. Because when Semenyo's got that ball on the left, he doesn't run down to the byline. His first thought is, I'm cutting in and I'm going for that goal. And I think that's what we've seen a difference with Semenyo on the left. I've not seen him do that when he's been playing on the right. I know it's early. I know he's only had, 2 or 3 matches for us. But if he was going to do it, he'd have done it in them 2 or 3 matches, if that makes sense.
You know, another thing as well, you know, for all Doku's very good performances this year, which I've been one of Doku's biggest critics, I didn't know until yesterday or the day before. Do you know how many goals Doku's only actually got in the Premier League?
I'd probably say about 4.
3 this year.
1? That's
in
it?
the Premier League, he's only got 1 goal.
What, since he joined us all this season?
This season.
All right. For me, that's not good enough, and that rubber stamps my Pep White's saying he's got 10 Premier League goals, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to counteract that now, right? Because I think, and again, this is me being old-fashioned, we have wingers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know Sky Sports refer to them as forwards, and everybody refers to them. They're not forwards; they're wingers.
Double pivot.
Outside right, outside left. They're wingers. Say that about Saka at Arsenal, the so-called superstar, the so-called star boy. How many goals has he got?
Very minute. I think it's something like 2 or 2 assists, 1 goal or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So how comes he gets a free pass? And
that's in 2 seasons, by the way. That's in 2 seasons because he's an English golden boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
That is the difference.
I'll expand it out more for you. What wingers in any of the 20 Premiership teams is banging them in week in, week out?
No, there's a lot of truth in that. So the 2 central midfielders, you would have, I think we both, well, we all agree. I think it would be a Nico and a Rodri. Then the conundrum is
Turkey,
Reinders, Foden,
Marmoush.
I'd actually take Foden out for a bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because he started the season off a little bit jaded, then he seemed to get back into some really, really good form. He was banging in the goal again, and he's dropped back off. Again, there's always reasons behind everything.
Yeah, I know. I know Foden's main reason.
No, you don't.
I do.
You only know rumours, but
we don't know rumours.
We don't do rumours, and we won't even spread rumours on this channel.
Foden started off the season like a house on fire, and what happened? He started getting linked with England, and what happened when he started doing that? His performance went to shit.
Well, by the by, I think at the moment he needs somebody like Cherky at the side of him. But will Cherky, Foden? But where would you put Cherky? I mean, for me, I would put Cherky more to the right to help Foden a little bit, with Semenyo on the left. But I'd be even more happy with Cherky at the side of Foden.
I'll tell you what I'd do, and people probably laugh at this in the comments. But for the next couple of games, what I'd try or what I'd look to do is I play Cherky as a 10 with the midfielder we just said, Rodri and Nico Gonzalez. Cherky in the 10. I put Semenyo on the left. I put Mamouche up front, and I give McKay a run on the right. That's what I do. Because if we put McKay on the right and he doesn't do it, we turn and say we'll give it a go, and it didn't work out.
And you can dip him in and dip him out with him
being
17.
That's what I'm going to say.
It won't affect him. Yeah.
Because just for the next 2 games,
natural right winger in it. So and again it's sort of like the point what Nick's saying there. What we said earlier through Rico loose under a bush yesterday. He's never seen right back. But you're absolutely right, Nick. And you know I always stick up for Rico, because if we're critiquing a player, and again I said at the start of the show, we've got to critique them in their natural position. And people, and I know you get the exceptions, like everyone was blowing smoke up Nico O'Reilly's ass as they are now with Nunes. I think because Nunes is a lot older and he's had a lot more football. He's had a lot more football career than Rico Lewis is. I think it's easier for somebody like Matheus Nunes to adapt. Whereas you're asking a midfielder to go, you may as well ask him to go and play net, and Donnarumma go and play him as right back. It doesn't work.
You're right, Andy. No, you're right. And the thing
The
is,
only-
look how much. Go on, Paddy. Go on, mate.
The only thing I'd say about that, Andy, in the EDS, they're expected to play up to 3 positions. That's the way they're taught. Each player is taught how to play 3 positions.
Sorry,
It's all about opinions, isn't it? Because, just like I said about, well, what were it, 50 minutes ago, I'd rather have Echeverri in the midfield position over Rico Lewis, but I know plenty of people who prefer Rico Lewis in the team over Echeverri. The thing why I pick Echeverri is I think he offers more than what Rico Lewis could offer in that position.
Goals.
Yeah, well, yeah, even that, Andy, yeah.
A bit of that South American hunger.
Yeah, agree.
I do. So the midfield is an issue trying to get them all in. They get, say if they're all playing well, right? I know you can say people start the match, people finish the match, or people get dropped to the bench, or whatever way you want to phrase it. I don't really care. No, I mean, I'm not in the feelings. Like, you're getting paid a hell of a lot of money. You do your job, do it. And if you don't do it, tough. Make sure you are doing it next week. But when they're all at it, even you could say now that about the defence, right? When they're all fit and healthy, I know Guardiola will be out for a while, but like when he's back, you're going to have Nunes, Diaz, Guardiola, Nuri, Nico Reddy, Marquis. Like they all can play.
You're not going to have. But you're not out of that lot. You're not going to have Rico Lewis classed as a defender, nor will you have Nico O'Reilly, mate. Because if we've got all them players back, it's going to enable Pep to play those players in their natural positions.
Yeah, but
and
that's
again,
my point, Andy. Like they're not defenders. We all know Rico and Nico are midfielders, which adds the overload in midfield. Then you have about 10 midfielders.
I don't know what you think, Elliot. I think it's because I'll use Nico O'Reilly for an example, right? Because Nico O'Reilly, when he came into the team at playing left back, and he's done absolutely brilliantly, bearing in mind as a midfielder, because his standards of dipped, not dripped. He might have dripped as well, but I didn't see it. His standards have dipped. And because he's going through a bit of a tough time, he's getting more shit now without people thinking, hang on, he's done brilliantly filling in for us, as a left back, as did Nunes. Yeah. And when Rico's not done very good at right back, there's a reason for that, because he's not a right back.
Yeah, see, I agree. Nico O'Reilly, Foden and Haaland, I just think that they need a couple of games, just rest, and then just come to it. I think, is it Woolston? Correct me if I'm wrong, is it Woolston Anfield? I think is his game. So just take him out for Tuesday night. I know it's Champions League, Bodo Glimpse. Take him out. Don't play him. Mm-hmm. Wolves, same thing. Don't play him. Just rest him out, and then just bring him back in for Liverpool if needs be. Put O'Reilly back at left back after two. I think that'll be 2 games then. Yeah, 2 games with rest. So yeah, and then bring him back in.
I wouldn't rule it out, Elliot, that in midweek in Europe,
Champions League.
Yeah, he plays Marmoush instead of Haaland.
Yeah,
but Marmoush Saturday, didn't he?
Is what?
He played in Saturday, and that they came fourth in that AFCON.
Yeah, but the point is, we can, he's still available for selection, isn't he? Now,
Tuesday. Yeah.
So if I was Pep, I'd do something, because I agree with Haaland. It does look jaded and he doesn't look himself. But I don't want everybody to start getting on Haaland's back, because I think it's unfair. Because listen, he's played a lot of football for us. He's scored a lot of goals for us. Can people criticise him? Absolutely, of course they can. That's the nature of the beast. But it's not shows like this where we absolutely hammer players. You normally get a certain type of City fan who wouldn't find the Etihad with an Atlas or a sat-nav. Them kind of knobheads.
Stop following them and stop listening to them and stop interacting with them.
No, you're missing the point, Paddy. You're missing the point, mate. It's okay me not listening to him, you not listening to him, Elliot, or any of these. these dickheads at Erling Haaland go directly to him saying, "You're shit." It doesn't matter whether I see that or not. Erling Haaland will. We saw it with Jack Grealish. At Jack Grealish, because they wanted their boy Doku in. So they was giving Jack Grealish direct shit through all his social media. Now, it's easy for you to say, if I was them, I'd come off social media. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because the human beings at the end of the day, and you should know more than anyone, Paddy, that it can affect people. And we saw, in my opinion, the decline of Jack Grealish through that. Me, if I was Pep or somebody, I'd say to everybody, "You're not going on social media." But all they do, they'd open a little burner account or something, wouldn't they? Because it'd be in there because they're human. They want to know what people are saying about them.
Back in the day, players used to look at newspapers, didn't they? Straight away for the scores.
Yeah.
Just same thing, innit? I agree, I do. But what I would say is, I think this is where Pep's going to be quite careful because he's got to take these players out, and I think he's taking them out to help him. What I would say. And I mean, Foden coming out, I think it will benefit him. I think bringing Haaland out will benefit him. And that's then when they probably could then come back into form. And who knows, we might be in a situation where we win 2 games, we play absolutely unbelievable, and then Pep thinks, you know what, I'm going to put these players in at Anfield because they've shown me in the last 2 games that they've done enough to start Anfield, if you know what I mean. And that's the options what we've got now. I mean, Mamouche coming back, it gives us a lot of options.
It does.
Like, if you wanted to rest Haaland, how would you feel about playing a false 9?
What's a false 9? Is it like a double pivot?
I'm coming over on Saturday, Friday. I will knock you out.
Okay, come on. No, it's got to be settled here and now, Paddy. No, don't let it fester. Settle there and now. Come on. Just because you're 12'9", I'm not scared of you.
Oh, it's Spurs after Wolves, sorry. Nick's put in the chat.
Oh, fucking Spurs at 1970s prime Brazil. Watch this.
But they'll have a new manager as well, won't they?
Home or away, Elliot?
Away. And then it's Anfield.
It doesn't matter. We've got to play these teams like then on paper. Arsenal would have beat thingy
Forest.
Last night. Who did they
Forest.
play? Yeah, Arsenal would have beat Forest on paper last night, and then Arsenal will beat United on paper. So I'd say the only saving grace for us yesterday that is that Arsenal only got a point further away from us.
Yeah,
so that's 7 points. Now, if that had gone to 9 points, even I'd have gone, it's over.
Could have been 11, Andy. Could have been 11 when they played Liverpool the other week.
Mm-hmm. So while we're still in it, and I looked at some of the results yesterday and some of the previous results, across the Premier League. I'm not just saying this because Arsenal are 7 points clear of us. I think the Premier League this year has been shit, Some of the, fair play to some of the so-called lower teams, but I think on the grand scheme of things, look how many draws and that there was yesterday. I mean, 0-0 draws and stuff. Yeah, I'd have took one of them. But the point is,
but I don't think the Premier League.
A friend of mine's in the
gym. It's not that the Premier League has got better or Arsenal have got better. Arsenal would have never dealt with prime Klopp or prime Pep. When we were in our pump, both teams, like losing the league by 90 odd points, Arsenal will never ever live with that. So like the standard of the Premier League has dropped for Arsenal to get up there.
We'll laugh.
I know what you're waiting for. I know exactly what you're waiting for.
We're laughing at I was captain there because me and Elliot always called Doku speedboat without a driver. Now, some games this season he's had a driver, but now he's got a driver, but he's pissed. And I think that's the difference. But yeah, that's what we're laughing at, mate.
No.
But we've got to do something now. I think if needs be, that them players, if they've not already done, they need to have some sort of team meeting and have it out with each other. Basically,
this is the thing. This is what we were saying at the Boozer last night after the Arsenal game finished. Like, you wouldn't mind, Paddy. You just said it then, now and then. You wouldn't mind if you were coming. If we was playing against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool sides who got 95 points, 98 points. They were pushing us. We got 100 points that season, Centurion season. You wouldn't mind it, but we're not. We're really not, and that's the frustration thing. If Arsenal don't score from a set piece, or they haven't got any own goals recently, they've dropped a lot of points, and that's the frustration thing where we aren't doing our job. No. That's the annoying thing. If we did his own job, and then Arsenal went and won, and then they went and won the league, fair play. They've won the league. They deserve to win the league. Whoever wins the league at the end of the season deserves to win it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing, though, Elliot, aren't we? It's like, fucking hell. When we drop points, Arsenal drop points.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. Like yesterday, and again, you can regardless whether Arsenal win the league or not. Fucking hope not. I prefer United to win the league or Liverpool to win the league than them bastards. But what I'm saying is, if I was an Arsenal player yesterday or the Arsenal team, or even Arteta, I'd be going before kickoff. City have just got absolutely hammered at Old Trafford. If we go 9 points clear from them, game over. But
did you see
Rice?
That picture, say?
Yeah.
Which one?
Do you see the video?
Do you see him?
No.
He's walking to the fans and he's like clapping him, and I think he's saying what people are saying. He's saying every fucking time, fucking time. I can see the frustration in him, and he's right. He is right. He is right, to be honest. And
you know the best about that, Elliot, from a psychological point of view, that spreads in the dressing room, and that's where we're going to get them. Like, if we put a little run together, that's where we're going to get them. Like, we haven't really breathed on their neck as such.
Paddy, we've got to forget this. We're a second half of the season team. We're a different Manchester City than
I'm not saying that. Next year, I think you'll see us back to the standards that we're kind of used to. We're still not, like, for me, we're ahead of the game of where we need to be. Like, them two signings this January, it's mind-boggling. Like,
we wasn't even in anybody's sort of like sentences as challenging for the league, was we, at the start of the season? It was all like Liverpool are favourites, then it's going to be Arsenal second, always the fucking bridesmaids. But we wasn't even mentioned in the same breath as them, and all of a sudden, because I sort of agree with you, we're sort of ahead where I thought we'd be, by challenging. If we are still challenging, listen, 7 points, it's still possible. We've been in worse situations than that, but and because we've done so well to be where we are, and because we're having these little setbacks, I think that's where all the sort of like the people being fucking over it.
If you really want to be an optimist, it's 4.
Especially, if we beat them at the Etihad. But what doesn't help is all these fucking absolute knobheads on all these late night spaces going over the top on it.
Do you know where you should be when that's happening? In your bed, sleeping.
You are probably right, to be fair, Paddy. You are probably right.
But I know, but me and Elliot we went on one the other night, didn't we, mate?
Wrong show.
No, listen. We went on a space the other night. My mate there dropped me a message.
Yeah,
so we did a double tag team because these gentlemen from overseas was actually calling us English. I don't mean calling us English because we are English, but like racism against the English.
Yeah.
So
asking for Pep Hart because we didn't win a trophy last season.
Yep. That's what we're up against, and that's why I say it's easy for you to say, mate, or don't listen to him, or when they go in direct, because Pep's got his own Twitter account, hasn't he? At Pep Team. People won't think twice saying you're bald fraud.
You don't think Pep Guardiola looks at that? That's his management team, that media team, whatever they call themselves.
Well, why would he have it? Everyone likes a bit of a giggle, but the point is, when people are directly going at people, then we're human beings at the end of the day, mate.
Yeah.
Well, there's a simple way to turn it off. Get somebody to manage your account. Don't go near it.
What's the point in having it?
A lot of the players, the accounts are managed for them.
I reckon he gets.
Actually,
I reckon he gets told. I reckon he gets told stuff, but Paddy.
Yeah,
I reckon. I reckon a lot of players do. I think that's
yeah,
the.
it's impossible to hide away from that stuff. You know, like you see players sometimes they let it slip how social media has an impact on them. Like, but you can't be that brittle. You know.
Yeah. So going back to the football side of things before we skedaddle, right? So we sort of alluded to it before. We're starting to get players back now, as in Mark Gay, Semenyo, Ain't Nori. Who else have we got back now?
Rodriguez come back, obviously, aren't they? Since
Yeah, proper. Am I missing anyone, Paddy?
I think is Diaz due back all in a week, 2 weeks? Is it
Okay.
1 week, 2
He's
weeks?
about 2 weeks on, I think.
Who's the lad that, who come forth from the Egyptian lad that we plays on the left?
Mamouche.
Oh, why Paddy on that one, mate?
You wanted me to say that, Elliot.
But joking aside, all of a sudden things are going to look a bit rosier because we're going to have established players at the back. You know, their natural position. Nico Gonzalez is going to be back. We've got Nico O'Reilly who could step into midfield in his natural position. You've got Rodri, we've got Reinders, Foden, Cherky. Anybody have missed there?
Let's put it in.
No, up front, we've got options.
We've had one bad result in the last 10 games. They going to Newcastle in the cup. Who would have forecast we were coming away with a 2-0 victory? Not one of us.
Me, I predicted it, didn't I?
You predicted a loss, you moron.
They've been frustration games, haven't they, Paddy? I think that's been the problem. I mean, I've been to a couple of them away as well, and I think not like kicking off to the point where like that's embarrassing. I mean, these games where I think we've played not great and we've got good results, so it's. I mean, that swings and roundabouts. But I think like the Sunderland game where if we took his chances, if Savino took one of his chances, I think the game's over. Especially the one in the first half where, or was it the second? Might be seconds early on where he sort of puts it across, and it's one of them where you think if that goes in, I don't think Sunderland get back into that game. Chelsea, I think Chelsea's one of them where if we took one of them chances, I think Chelsea at that point without any manager, that's the frustration thing. Then United's obviously a derby, so
yeah,
there's that to it. But like you said, the run what we've just had, you've got to take it. And I think it sort of put us in with a bit of a shout still for the league. And Andy's right, the Arsenal result last night definitely kicks it open.
So totally, mate. And while we're still 7 points, and again, you know, if the optimist, you know, you can say we'll beat them at our place, but we'll take it down to 4 points. And
what would happen if next week? Well, I'll be over next week, so I'll be talking to Pep. We'd definitely be getting a result against Wolves, or I'll punch his lights out. And United go and get a result against Arsenal, draw or beat them. It's not 7 points then.
But like I always say, if my auntie had bollocks, it'd be my uncle.
We just got to do our jobs, aren't we? We just got to do our jobs. That's the thing. If we do our jobs,
that's all we can do, mate. And listen, Arsenal are not going to win every game between now and the end of the season. And that's what I'm saying. Neither are we. It's as long as we, like Elliot said, as long as we do our job, if we fall short, then we've only got ourselves to blame. But a rude awakening needs to happen with them players a little bit now, because some of them are probably playing a little bit through injury, you know, because of circumstances and stuff like that. You know, some of them are a little bit down on confidence. We've also seen players playing out of position who've don't, like we said earlier, who've played brilliantly well for us, and all of a sudden they're having a dip now. People have started having a go. Oh, he's shit him. No, he's not shit. He's done brilliantly playing for us in not his natural position. So all of a sudden we start getting players back, like say Ain't Nori left back, Mark Gay, where we can dip young Max Elaine out, because I think Cush is undroppable at the minute, and he's playing. But let's not forget as well, we'd also have an option there to play Cushy at right back. We've you know, especially if Nunes is not available for any reason, I think that's natural. And then you've got Aki who can play centre back along
Diaz
with.
will be coming back. Diaz will be coming back as well.
Yeah, and
which goes back to my original point, Andy. There must have been something wrong with Anthony and O'Reilly yesterday because Kusanov could have went to right back, Aki and Ali in the centre of defence, and O'Reilly or Anthony at left back. So there must have been something wrong with them too, whatever niggles or whatever happened. But I find it hard to believe Pep would have put that back four yesterday if everyone was 100%.
I just want to say
He said Nunes. Sorry, Andy. He said Nunes were ill before the game, didn't he?
He
said he got ill. He said he got flu. So if that's the case, I would imagine he'd probably have in his head Nunes were going to start with him not starting against. Was it Did he start Newcastle? I think Newcastle again before. Yeah.
But I think it was Kathy who said it early on in the comments. People are on Aki's back a little bit now, but Aki has actually given his body for this club, for everything he's done. And you know yourself, Paddy, I always go back to when we had Laporte, Laporte, huge fans' favourite. I totally get it. But Laporte down tools the minute he had to fight Aki for left back, whereas Aki stuck with it and waited for his opportunity when he got in ahead of Laporte. I will always have the greatest respect for Nathan Aki for doing that. And we know he can't play two games a week. Now he's being asked to play 3 games a week. So he's not going to be prime Aki, what we know he can do. Like, when he's played left back for us, up and down. Like when the past couple of games where he's played, where he's been at the top end, overlapping, he's been there, he's finding it hard to get back now. So that should be into consideration as well. By bringing him on for the last 20 minutes or something like that, that'd be perfectly fine.
For me, right, and this what gives me hope. We've all said and done. We know how that dressing room operates, right? We've had enough feedback out of that dressing room from Pep, from Gundogan, when he compared our dressing room to Barcelona. That would have caused a hell of a lot of pain yesterday and a hell of a lot of a hurt, professionally and personally, right? So I imagine that dressing room wouldn't be a very, very happy place last night. So you can be damn sure the dressing room that we have, they hold each other accountable. So I would expect a much improved performance against, we'll say, Wolves on Saturday, never mind the Champions League game. Because there's one thing we do know about that dressing room is there's no need for Pep to go and bollock any player because they do it themselves.
No, totally get it, mate. And what them, and I think it was I'll get the comment, and it's right. There, it was house captain, absolutely bang on the money. You cannot put a price on stability. We've had the last decade. Just look over the road, 100%. And sometimes we're a little bit selfish and greedy, aren't we? With what we've had, we think it's going to just be seamless for the for forever and ever and ever, and it doesn't work like that. Football's all about cycles. But what I will say is, Pep is rebuilding, and again, I think you said it earlier, Paddy. I think we are a little bit ahead of schedule to certainly where I thought we'd be this season. So next season, and again, you mentioned Gundo before. Everyone wanted Gundo going. Gundo would have been ideal to bring off the bench and sit in there. He's going to chip in with the odd goal. His passing is going to be crisp and stuff like that. Sometimes we need to be careful for what we wish for.
Yeah, but we've said it on here numerous times. Last January for us was an absolutely fantastic window in terms of who we signed and where we got them and the price we paid for them. This window, we got Semenyo and Marquis for 82 million euros or 82 million pounds, and Liverpool paid 130 for Wirtz, 135 for Isaac, and we got Semenyo and Guy for 82.5 million. Two absolute Premiership battle-hardened players for 82 million. We have rocked this window. We are not sitting on our laurels. We've identified a problem and we've got a solution twice.
Because I think we said on was it last week's show, mate, where I said if we're going in for Gay, we've got to do it now. Not the end of January. We've got to do it now, and that's the way. I'm saying we're gurus. I think it was blindly obvious that we needed to act now rather than the end of the window. Now, and again, I disagree with what you said earlier. I think with Gay, we have paid him a silly amount of money signing on fee. But you know something? I'm not bothered because in the grand scheme of things, we've got the equivalent of an £80 million centre back for 20 million. So
Yeah,
give it.
we might have done.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Andy, there's no hand on heart. There's no way we paid Marquis what he would have got in the summer. Which I'm going to go back to my earlier point. That lad has some seriously roadies on him that he's going to come and dislodge one of them centre backs. He has full belief in himself.
That's what we need, though, innit, Paddy? That's what we need. You look at the Centurions team, the treble team. We always had. Look at the bench: Mahrez, Walker, Palmer, Alvarez, all these people, and that's what I think. That competition between places is what drove us to win what we've won, to do what we've done. Do you know what I mean? I think that's that's where I always stand with it anyway, and that's where I've always seen it.
Because he could have held on and went to Liverpool, Elliot, and was playing regular first team football. He knows coming to the us, that mightn't be guaranteed, but like he has backed himself to the halt that I'm getting into that team.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you both think to the Reinders situation? Do you think he's better as a 8?
I think wherever Pep asks Reinders to play, I think he'll do a great job either way. You'll always get him sort of like supplementing the strikers, because I think instinctively, I watched quite a bit of him for AC Milan, Elliot, and he's got a nose for goal. He really has. And I think when early on in the season he come in, I think it was on his debut, he scored a goal, and everyone's going, he's brilliant. Him, yes, he is. But when he dipped a little bit, everyone was on his back. But what people don't understand is, in Serie A, you get as much space as you want. So I think he struggled to realise how little space you get in the Premier League. Now he's adjusting to that. We're seeing sort of like the real deal with Reinders. And for me, it is a must starter. But you can name 14, 15 players what are must starters. But this is where Pep has to manage it game by game with some of the squad. I think some of the squad has got to be, especially defensively, I think we need a solid defensive, so like partnership or back four, rather than mess about with it. It's like for it, the defense is so important. It really is. And players, it's like even on the left, for instance, we always think it's better with Gvardiol playing sort of like left back. You know, when we had options, Gvardiol left back because he complemented sort of like Doku really well. You know, he was there as sort of like Doku's safety blanket, and he chips in with goals, whereas he's going in his natural position now as a centre-back. So this is where the likes of Aït-Nouri will do the overlapping like Gvardiol does. So that's why it's so important we play players in their natural position, because it's continuity in it, and it's that stability what we need at the minute. Now, if Pep goes for the next 10 matches, say for instance, and it's the same starting 11, then so be it. That I don't mind seeing that, as long as it's the same, as long as it's a successful, so like 10 games, because you're building partnerships up, like centre backs, so like wingers, overlappers. I think we always struggle on the right, especially when Nunes is not playing, because I think Nunes has been brilliant for us this season. By the way, it's almost single-handedly ran the right side defensively as well as a midfield for us. Whereas on the left, we've always had sort of like that double pivot kind of thing, haven't we, Paddy? Where we've had the defender overlapping, sort of like a Doku or whoever. But I think it's clear as day, I think, to everybody, that Semenyo has got to be the starter on the left.
Well, I'm going to disagree with your assessment of Reinders on the following grounds. I've seen enough of Reinders live now and on the TV, especially live. He makes run after run after run, in the space, and the ball does not come. If he had Kevin De Bruyne feeding them, Rangers would be sitting in 10 or 12 goals now.
He's already on quite a few goals, considering he was sort of like in and out of the team while he was. And listen, he's an experienced international, Reinders, but he's just come from a different playing style of league. Again, like I've just said, where you get all the time in the world. That's only going to make Reinders better because now he's back in the team. To be honest, I thought he should have played. He should have started yesterday, Reinders, because he's the kind of player what would have pushed their back four right back with the pressure what he puts on.
His positional play, his spatial awareness, how he reads the game, the runs he makes, even though we're not finding him, it's unbelievable.
Is anyway, we will find out, won't we? Over the next few games, we're in Europe. Where am I going to be for that European game, boys?
You'll be in Manchester.
Let me have a guess.
You know where I'm going to be, Paddy. I told you my little story.
No, you won't be. You'll be here.
When is it? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, I will be here, won't I? So when do we play Wolves? And Wolves is Saturday.
I'm over Friday night.
I'll be somewhere for the Wolves game then, won't I? Yeah.
So will I. I'll be over you.
I'll never have you over me. I know it's your dream. It's sort of like your
Oh no, I wouldn't cramp Elliot's style. I wouldn't want to get into that space between you two.
What, playing the double pivot and the low block and the XG? Yeah. Call it pack it there for tonight. Elliot, thanks very much for coming on, mate. I've been wanting to get you on for absolutely ages and ages, as you know. And it's like what Martin just said there. Is Elliot thinking of starting his own YouTube channel? Lol.
I've just come on here just for a bit of sense. That's what it were. Obviously, I know they're going the Mancunian way, but there's a certain person on there who, well, I think they call him Martin. I think that's his name. I don't think he knows what he's on about half the time. So
was that the guy? Was the Old Trafford box?
Well, yes. Yeah, Martin. Listen, if you're doing nothing at 11:30 tonight, head over to the Mancunian way. Martin always gets a lot of views because it's mainly the peak time. Peak time from what for most of his view, isn't it, Elliot? Is that what you said? I think Paddy is referring to you there, mate.
Been called worse.
So what we want to see before we go is Martin in the chat, sort of like typing United. Listen, guys, thanks very much for joining us. It's been
cheers, lads.
And that's what I always love about our show. You know, nobody ever goes overboard, do they? Even though we're disappointed and sort of like pissed off and whatever, we always constructively critique each game, don't we?
And see all the people having a go at the players and all that crack.
Mm-hmm.
They ever ask themselves, did I ever have a bad day at work?
Do you ever have a bad day at work, Elliot? I don't. He's gone. Right. Oh, hang on. Last one, because we've seen it all already. And house captain, spot on, mate. And I think us of a certain age, you know, we just brush it off. Like I think everyone was expecting me kicking off in the pub yesterday. I just shook their hands and they was expecting because like, cheers. Oh yeah, good. You know, and the difference on the faces was unbelievable.
Exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely horrendous back in 2009 when I started following them.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you've seen it all, haven't you, Paddy? All the good times.
Hardcore.
Well, that's a different story, mate. Right, we shall do it all again. Paddy, I'm getting an early flight back from Benidorm next Sunday, so I will be able to do the show, my friend, barring there's no delays. So I should be back in sunny Manchester about 2:00 in the afternoon.
Well, I'd be flying out of Manchester at 9 o'clock that night.
So I'm going to be on my own?
Yeah. You have Elliot.
I'll jump on with you, mate.
Yeah, if at least we'll have some sense talked on the show next week, then Elliot. You know I mean it. I don't mean it, Patrick, Father. Right, listen, guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Always a pleasure, never a chore. And we will do it all again next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.